Hello, everyone, and welcome in. We are super excited for today. Thank you for being here. It's going to be a great time. We are going to let some people filter in. And as always, I feel like people pose really fun questions while people are getting in here. And mine always goes back to giving a shout out to someone who has intrigued your curiosities, your eyes in the space, someone you're shopping with. So I will go first. I'll let everyone kind of ponder that, put it in the chat too, where people are looking recently. But mine has been two, because I've been trying to do a lot with just like hair health, and Array and Ra's hair has been my two favorite things that I've bought recently. So give them a shout out. Who does anyone have a brand top of mind that they kind of want to shout out? Who's been making them curious recently?
Yeah, I actually had a really good customer service experience, which I always like to shout out. I meet with my customer service team once a month. I think in marketing it's really important, but this was a really cool thing as a marketer to see. So it's from 5CBD. I use them for sleep gummies. Their subscription service is for a 20 pack of gummies, but it's every 30 days, which isn't a great customer experience. So I emailed their support and was like, "Hey, how can I like make this line up so I'm not so I have enough on every." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we can do that, no problem. It's a front end issue. We'll just set it up." And they did it so quickly. And for me as a marketer, that was so like refreshing of like, "Oh yeah, we can just fix that. We'll do it and we'll make the recommendation to the front end team to do it." And so customer service marketing, like that really impressed me. I was already a loyal customer, but that attention to detail and wanting to improve really set the tone for me.
I love that. That's awesome. Who wants to go next? We love a good CX shout out.
Yeah, I love my shout out's going to be for Soar Organics. It's a matcha company that's local here in North Vancouver in Canada. And they just have a special personal touch for each order. They have a handwritten card of like, thanks so much for continuing to support us since this. And it's always the personal touches, and their emails are so lovely. And, especially for customer service, you're dealing with things where people are angry and they're frustrated. And it's such a nice reminder of like kindness is free. And it's so nice, those little touches when people know you and, they're sending a little bit of kindness and thoughtfulness. I really love that.
Yeah, it really stands out. I love it as well. Anon, I saw you go off mute.
Those are some really good examples. I feel like the personal touches that I see are like my name in an email. So the handwritten letters is awesome. I'm also in Canada, so the brand that came to mind, and I don't know if I'm just seeing it everywhere in the marketing these days, and it's kind of just got me, is WMP Eyewear. And like they very prominently will say like Canada's premier eyewear or Canada's leading. So they really have been leaning on that lately. So yeah, I kind of just got not suckered into it, but I'm diving in.
Love it. Love that representation. So there's something about that where you're like, you feel akin. Um, okay, great. And then Leo, you want to round us out?
Honestly, guys, I'm in Brazil, so most of the brands I know you're probably not gonna be familiar with. But recently I got a gift from my wife. She actually bought me a lot of t-shirts, which I always need somehow, like I keep getting them. She bought them from a company called Insider. It's a local company, but what's really funny is she just wrote a note, like a simple one saying she wanted it back as a gift because it was both my birthday and our anniversary. And they got the whole way of writing a handwritten note, which at least in Brazil is not super common. So that just gave a special touch to things. And yeah, I really liked it. So if anyone here knows the Brazilian brand or anything else, definitely recommend them.
Love it. Kudos to them for going the extra mile. And happy belated birthday and anniversary. Okay, great. Well, I am super excited to kick things off today. As everyone knows, we are just having a, like casual conversation, really following like kind of what you would typically see in a case study of walking through scenarios, results, everything. But we get the chance to ask each other questions and then also get questions from our attendees who are joining us here today. So a few things before we hop into it. Just wanted to remind everyone, if you can put questions in the Q&A section, that would be great. It helps me track things, but if they end up going in the chat, that's okay. And feel free to engage, put encouragements, comments, all those things in the chat section. And for those of you who read those emails very fine with a fine-tooth comb, there will be giveaways based off engagement at the end of this, because we got to make things fun, right? It's a Thursday, it's almost Friday. So we're here for it. And I am going to have everyone give a quick introduction of themselves before we get started. So hello, I'm Mariah Parsons, and I am our head of marketing at Malomo. We are branded order tracking software, and we are so excited to host you all today. I'm going to go in the same order that we went for the brand. So Zach, I will kick it to you.
Awesome. I'm Zach Scheimer. I am the retention marketing manager at Criquet Shirts. I also run all of our MarTech, so that's how I've gotten to know a lot of the people on this call already. I will only do one other thing for my resume, and that was I was an NFL mascot for 2 years. So my career change has been a lot different from starting as a mascot now in sort of data and analytics. So we've come a long way, and I'm really excited for this conversation.
Love it. We'll look out for like a little Easter egg of your
Yeah,
mascot background
exactly.
during the webinar. Okay, Desiree, you want to intro yourself next?
Yeah, for sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Desiree. I'm a licensed naturopathic physician here in British Columbia in Canada. So I work for Eversio Wellness as an ND advisor and having a role in the marketing team. My biggest roles really are product education, so educating B2C, supporting on social media. You'll see my face on our social media, and then I also run our brand ambassador program as well. And then, having a piece in marketing in terms of our freebies, contact captures, and all of our marketing assets and whatnot.
Awesome. Great to have you here, Anand.
Thanks for having me.
I definitely will have questions about Zach's mascot days. My name is Adnan. I am here from Rebuy. I've been here for 3 years, which sounds wild to say out loud. Here at Rebuy, we really focus on creating intelligent shopping experiences for consumers online. So that could be through intelligent upsells, different types of cross sells, things like that. The way that I explain it to my mom is whenever she wants to go online and intends to spend $100 and ends up spending 400, it's because of people like us.
That's great. Leo, want to round us out?
Yeah. All right. No NFL mascot from my side. I'm really interested in that as well. So I'm Leo. I'm an account manager at Octane AI. Well, basically what I do is help our client keep their quiz funnels optimized, or to enterprise clients, making sure that they're getting the most out of their quiz. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. We love to see it. Okay, great. So as everyone knows, and as we recapped, we're going to have conversations with pairs of us. And so I'm going to kick it off with Zach first. And I think it would be really helpful to follow kind of the cadence of Zach. Tell us a little bit about when our team started working together. What was like top of mind? What was your challenge? What struggles were you seeing in the space that were really pertinent to what you're doing with Criquet Shirts?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing from my end was visibility and also consistency. So with the tracking emails that Shopify sends, they don't match our brand messaging that we send all of our other flows and campaign emails. And so a big challenge for us moving into this year really was to get all of those emails moved over from Shopify and get that consistent brand messaging and also being able to have the visibility of how are those doing? Are people engaging in those? Are people buying after they place the order from the order confirmation email because they like the product? So really being able to see into all that was really important. But also the other piece of it was sort of where this project that we're going to be talking about came in was being able to show the customer something that they can engage with where they're at in the journey. So one of the things that we've built since moving over to Malomo was an ability to put in our emails a link directly to someone's tracking information if they're getting a campaign email from us during that period of time from bought to delivered. So all of that together was really sort of the broader goal of just trying to get consistency for our customers and being able to show them a great messaging outfit and sort of being able to show them everything so that they can interact in a useful way.
Yeah, I love that. And when I zoom out, I think about, like you kind of said, right, the visibility, the consistency with the brand experience, but then also getting that data. And I feel like for you as a retention guru, you're like thinking about, okay, we have to have the customer experience, right? We all just talked about how important it is for when a brand goes the extra mile and it feels like it's really intentional, but then obviously the seats that we all sit in, it's like, okay, but what actually works and is justifiable from a lens of like, okay, we are an operator, we're not just the customer. And so yeah, I'm so excited to dive into kind of the really unique use case. Like our team was so impressed by what you are doing and all of that. So I will hand it over to you because I feel like it's best to hear how your brain was thinking about, okay, why do I want to marry marketing emails, those marketing campaigns with the transactional experience? Because I know from the seat that I sit in, we obviously are transactional focused, right? But we sit in that spot that you can marry the two, and you went above and beyond to do that even more in a way that we haven't typically seen. So I will pass it over to you. Walk us through, like, when did you first get that idea, and then where did you kind of take it after there?
Yeah, I think that's such an interesting way to frame that too. I think for all of our transactional partners, I'm finding more and more that there are needs for us as a retention marketing side to use that transactional time period to be more brand consistent or marketing, but at the very least be more brand consistent in those transactional moments, whether it's a return or just the shipping process in general. And so really the main driver for this, and also something we're working with Rebuy on, is um, I did some analysis on our emails, and from an order perspective, only 50% of our products ordered are what we're promoting in the email. And so I started trying to find different ways to have engagement points for customers because clearly we're hitting them at the right time, but it's making sure that they have things to engage with that are more meaningful to them. And so one of the things that we've been doing historically is having sort of a banner message at the top of our email that's more related to our loyalty program. But if someone does get a campaign email from us and they're in the delivery process, it's probably a wasted email. But we still want to be showing them the new product in a lot of cases. We don't want to suppress them entirely because maybe they do, oh, I didn't know this was available. I want to get this too. And so that's really where this came in of like, let's give them something to click on that they can just track their order. It's another way to do it. It also takes away from asking our customer service team, hey, what's my tracking number and things like that. And so it was multifaceted. But so what we ended up, I'll show the end result first and then sort of show how we got there. So this is an email that'll be going out tomorrow. Um, but this is what the top of our email looks like. It's personalized here with the loyalty club part, but this message here shows where in the order process they are. And so we have four different ones of these bars with different ones sort of highlighted depending where they are in the journey. And then when you click on it, it'll load because Klaviyo is loading. There we go. When you click on it, it actually takes you to that specific tracking number on this Malomo tracking page. So you don't have to type in your information again. It takes you right to your tracking info. You can click right here on the FedEx link and see exactly where it is. And so for us, this was a really cool thing to be able to give to customers. And the Malomo tracking page itself is really nice because you can put something like this, which is a Rebuy product block right here for product recommendations. So I'm kind of hitting both on this one, but this was a big thing for us as well because the Shopify tracking page does not have the ability to shop once you're on it. So this was another really thing that we were really excited about jumping to Malomo is that it's actually on our website and people can still shop as they're tracking. So this was a really big thing for us. We were really excited about being able to get all of that together. It's a little bit difficult to get that tracking link into Klaviyo for campaigns themselves. You can in the transactional email process, but getting them for campaigns is where the difficulty came in. So we actually set this up in Zapier is API calls to push that data into Klaviyo. It's only 4 steps. It's truly like I don't use that Zapier a ton, even being sort of more technical savvy, but this was really easy to set up. Once we sort of got to the place of like, how are we going to do this? It's 4 steps. It's really once that new event fires, which is the order confirmation, you then find the event, you take the text out of it, which is the tracking URL. You're taking that text out of the big JSON file that it comes in. You're finding the profile that matches that in Klaviyo and pushing the URL into that profile as a profile property. Easier said than done. And so it ended up being, it is complex, but there's only 4 steps you can set up fairly easy. So the setup ended up being fairly easy, and the result has been great so far. We do see a lot of clicks coming from that area, even though we're suppressing people a few days after the order. When they come back in, we're still seeing a lot of engagement there. So it's been worth the work that we've done on it, and I think it's a really solid customer experience to have.
Yeah, and Anon got it right. It's so slick, right? Like where it took some figuring out and to how you can create that or craft that.
Yeah.
But once you were able to get it, like I said, our team was like, you are the first person to do this, and the application is so smart that it's like you can see from the customer standpoint of, okay, yeah, I want to know what marketing messages are going out, but I also know that higher priority for me right now is my order. So where is it and all of those things? And we have a few more minutes before I pass the mic to our friends Desiree and Leo, but want to kind of call out, now that you have the experience up and running, what metrics are you going to be looking at of like, oh, maybe we know that complementary products, those marketing campaigns, those bode well for us with this additional strategy versus maybe, upselling something else would be different. Like, are you going to look at that granular level of what products are we looking at with the marketing emails and how they're performing, or how are you going to kind of like continue to iterate?
Yeah, this may come up in a little bit when I'm talking with Adnan, but we are using Rebuy a lot for sort of that additional product feature, whether it's from something you've already ordered or within the campaign emails themselves of just complementary products to what we're focusing on. But I think that is a really good point of like, let's say for us, most of what we sell in the spring are polos like I'm wearing right now, and in the fall it's a lot more outerwear. But we do have shorts and pants in both seasons. And so if someone doesn't buy one of the bottoms, having those in as an add-on, I think it's an easy sort of shop the look type thing of just one extra piece that makes it a full outfit. So that's a lot of the times where we're focusing when it's outfit focused. Our last big photo shoot, we also had our design team take a lot of like full outfit laydowns so that we can do more with that. Because I do really think that's very powerful. There's another tech partner that we've looked into and other brands that I know do this on all of their PDPs is have a full outfit look. And so I do think that's really important. And on something like that tracking page, to have the items that show up in the recommendation sort of be in tandem with what you ordered, I think is a really good next step for us.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, well, I'm going to have you come back on in a little bit with Anon, but I will pass the mic to Desiree and Leo. Thank you, Zach. That was so great. I'm so excited to see how, this all waters down into really cool strategy.
All right. Thank you, Mariah and Zach. Okay, me again. By the way, everyone, if you can hear a baby crying in the back, it's because I have a 2 month who just woke up. He's a bit grumpy right now, but I think we can fix this soon. My wife will definitely take care of this soon, so just bear with me for now. Anyway, Desiree, so let's get started with Eversio. What got you to build the quiz at first? Can you share a bit more about that?
Yeah, and I think it's helpful for people to understand like who we are. So Eversio Wellness, we offer premium therapeutic grade functional mushroom extracts. So mushroom supplements. So these are not psychedelic supplements. These are over-the-counter supplements. Have you heard of lion's mane, reishi? And so originally, I guess in the inception of starting a quiz, we thought, okay, we have a lot of customers in our community who don't really know where to start because functional mushrooms are a very niche supplement. They're different than a magnesium, a zinc, things like that, where it's super easy. Like people know what magnesium is for. There's not typically any complex questions with that, whereas functional mushrooms are different. And especially in the functional mushroom industry, I mean, mushrooms are trendy. So every single supplement, it's like pixie dusting galore where they're adding like 50 milligrams, which isn't actually a therapeutic dose and isn't going to exert any benefit. So for us, we thought, okay, we have a big customer population here who are asking questions of like, where do I even start? I have no idea. So what we did is we took the health benefits of each of the functional mushrooms based on the research. And then we also took the most common questions that people were asking about for particular health conditions. So whether it's I'm having trouble sleeping, I don't have a lot of energy, I need support with hormones, et cetera, et cetera. And then we created an algorithm of, okay, these are the questions. And we had to make sure that the questions were specific for people. They were short so that there wasn't decision fatigue going through. And we really wanted to provide our population, our community with a starting point. So what we did is we formulated that quiz, and then that was the biggest problem that we were trying to solve. So giving people a starting point of where to go so that they have some information in their hands and don't feel so overwhelmed with the supplement. And then from there, that could lead into more education about the products and, okay, my starting point is lion's mane, and now what? And then build on that further. So that was the intention of the quiz, was to really satisfy this great need for our community.
Great. All right. As someone who just took your quiz, as a customer, I might say I need to say it's really great, and I recommend everyone here to go and try it out. I'll leave a link for it here on the chat. Uh, and then in terms of what was actually built, so the final result of the first time you actually tried building a quiz, can you share a little bit more about that with us?
Yeah, so we originally weren't with Octane AI from the beginning. We didn't know Octane AI existed. We were with a different platform. And at first it served a great purpose because, we are getting the quiz to people, getting their results, but they didn't have a direct integration with Klaviyo. So we had Zapier, and Zapier is amazing, but that's another app with another fee per month, and managing that, making sure you're checking on it. It's a lot of admin. And to be honest, it didn't embed on our website. So it actually took to a different URL using that platform's portion in the URL. So that's not great for us. We wanted more to our website because we have SEO and we want people on our website. So then we happened to land upon Octane AI, and it was like an instantaneous decision of like, yes, this is going to be the thing for us, because we were able to embed the quiz directly on our site. Octane AI is very easy to use. It's super, super simple. The team is so great at answering any questions and providing some optimizations for us and things like that. So really the biggest thing was it was simple, it was easier for us, and it really boosted conversions. And we had another team working with us to help optimize everything for us.
That's great. So I might be a bit biased, but if I had to say it, and I think anyone who works at Octane, if we had to really bet on any of our features, I would say Klaviyo integration is definitely one of them, the
Yes.
main. And honestly, our account management team, totally not biased here as account manager here. So yeah. And finally, I just want to walk through a bit of the results, and if you had to do anything differently when starting out now, what exactly would you do different? Would you change anything with the quiz setup, etc.?
Yeah, great question. I mean, perhaps finding something that directly integrates with the apps that we use would have saved us a lot of headache. I'm not a developer, but I had to learn. And, working with some of our teammates, I think in marketing, a lot of times you're solving the problems. So I would say really trying to find an app that integrates well is a big thing. But, we learned so much through the process where we were optimizing the quiz and working with our account manager of saying like, okay, we need to tweak this particular question because this is where a drop-off rate is occurring. You don't need a quiz with 20 questions because that's decision fatigue. People aren't going to finish that. You want to make sure that you're hitting all the points and answering all of the questions that people have to point them in that direction. So I would say always simplify. Simple is always best. It doesn't need to be complicated. And when it's simple and it gives people the answers that they need right away, from there, you can build on it. Maybe you have another quiz or you have a flow for each of the custom properties within the quiz. So there's so many things that you can do, but when you have something that's simple and concise and works and functions optimally, I think that's what I would say. Make sure to do your research and find something there.
Perfect. Maria, quick question. Should we cover questions now, or do you want to go
Let's
over
do
that?
it later. Yep. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So
Awesome. So I'll
that's
pass
really
the floor. Yeah. Thank you
Thank you
both.
so
That
much,
was so great.
Desiree.
Awesome job. Okay, Nan and Zach, now you take the floor.
Perfect. Appreciate that. That was great. I feel like I learned so much so quickly. Thank you both, Leo and Desiree. Zach, thank you for participating and being a two-time champ. This is great. Appreciate it.
No doubt.
So to kind of echo the conversation so far, I wanted to get started with kind of like what was the original challenge with how Rebuy got introduced or what you're looking to solve for, given that we're trying to create intelligent experiences. We're really in the product recommendation game. I'm assuming it had something to do with showing the right offers and the right types of promotions to the right customers at the right time in their journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we were looking at a new partner, we were using a similar service before, but it was more, I think the breadth of what Rebuy can offer, just more things. Like we can do the cart, we can do the product recommendations on page, we can do that product recommendations in Klaviyo. Like I think the amount of things we could do was really the biggest driver there. And for me, in my role, like having a unified customer experience across touch points was really important, and Rebuy gives us that ability.
Yeah, for a software that does so many different things, and as somebody who has to try to explain it, sometimes it's not easy. The breadth of what we can do is honestly incredible, and I'm always trying to figure out new ways that people can do stuff with our software, and there's always more to do. So yeah, totally understand that.
And I appreciate that about you and in the company in general. I think Malomo's been the same way for us, but I'll come to you guys with like a crazy thing and you're like, yeah, let's try it. Like I
Yeah.
think that attitude is really appreciated from the customer side.
Yeah. You're stressing the software in good ways. So we're learning our limitations too.
Yeah.
So I guess like along the lines of how much we're able to do, how did you all figure out, okay, what do we actually need to deploy with Rebuy? And then what do we end up deploying together? And I can help chime in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started really, I think, with just the on-site product recommendations. There's different ones on different pages, but that's really where we started. And then we added on the smart cart, and then we added on rebuy search, which has been hugely beneficial. And now we're continuing to add things. I think the most recent one, the recent two we've really been working on, are one, getting those product recommendations in Klaviyo campaign emails, and it speaks to sort of the unified customer experience I was talking about a second ago. I would love to be able to have the same product recommendation engine on both email and the website. So people are seeing the same types of things and it has the same logic and it can build off each other because it's building off the interaction. So that's a big one we've been doing. And then this sort of answers one of the questions in the Q&A chat. But the other thing that we're working on that we're hoping to deploy either this week or early next week is within the smart cart. One of the limitations and the things we're stressing in the software is within the smart cart, the free ship bar, the amount of free ship, that can only be changed if a customer is logged in. Most of our customers don't log in. And so that was sort of the challenge that we were working through. We used another software called Digio on our site for audience ID. And so we use that in a lot of different ways, but the thought came to us, oh, we could use Digio's ID to power that smart cart and show different messages to customers. And so this is a layout of what will be coming soon to our smart cart through the Digio and Rebuy partnership. But we'll now be able to have two different promo bars in there for certain customers. Some will be one or the other, but this is a sort of rare instance essentially where it's someone who would get to a new loyalty tier if they add, it's like $175, or they would just get the free shipping if it's only this. So being able to show that multiple messages, and one of the perks for our loyalty program is free shipping. And so sometimes we don't even need to tell them that. We want to be showing them add more to your cart to get this new perk or something like that. And so that's the AOV driver that we're looking for this. We're going to put in an A/B test to sort of prove it out. But this has been a really cool addition to what we're already doing with the smart cart to be able to really target people. And it's all off of Rebuy, or Digio uses Klaviyo's segments to be able to retarget. So it's really bringing three tech partners of ours together, and I'm always super appreciative of our partners to be able to work together like that.
Yeah, so much goodness to like unpack here. One, I think Mariah and the Malomo team touched on this earlier, like really pushing us to do things that we literally have never done with anybody before. So that idea of the multiple bars in the cart based off of other information is awesome. And yes, we haven't done it with anybody else. So that's great. I think we've all mentioned Klaviyo to different degrees. So it's really just a matter of like, how can we leverage some of the data that you guys already have and you're collecting? I think Desiree mentioned like how can we figure out things that already fit within your tech stack? So just another easy and awesome way to start utilizing some of that Klaviyo stuff too. So lots of goodness there. I think the couple of other things to touch on are it feels like Rebuy in a lot of ways is almost something that should be built in the Shopify admin. Like when you want to be able to do some of these easy things, you kind of think like, hey, I should be able to do this in the thing that set up the site. And I think that's when we were solving for a real pain point and making things easy, hopefully for you. So I think, yeah, just really figuring out how to make things as intuitive and making those kind of offers and things that you want to do easy. So yeah, I love those examples.
I
We
actually
don't have to
forgot an
touch on.
example of another way we're using Rebuy. I totally forgotten about this. We're also doing it post-purchase as like an add-on in the bottoms specifically. So if someone has bought a bunch of tops from us, there's a discount code, hey, add this for a little bit off. And that's all through Rebuy as well. So I totally forgot. We're using you guys in so many ways. I've forgotten the whole list, but we continue to keep adding things to sort of the what we're using Rebuy for, and every time we've seen some really good results from it. So that one's been another really exciting one. And the to the tech stack piece as well. I don't know that I really realized it at the beginning of when I was building this, but I keep calling our tech stack a puzzle with puzzle pieces. Like you want everything to fit together nicely. And I think the Klaviyo and Shopify ecosystem does a really good job at allowing for that.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many stores and merchants that I've worked with that are understanding that, hey, I've got all this data or I've got something sitting here. How can I leverage it in a ton of other ways? And the hard work is already done, right? Like all that work is already in Klaviyo or in Shopify. So yeah, I think the jigsaw puzzle piece makes a lot of sense. And I'm glad you touched on post-purchase. Post-purchase and checkout, I tell every single Shopify Plus brand, I'm like, you got to do this. So the in-checkout type of recommendations of post-purchase stuff makes a lot of sense. Without touching on like actual dollar values, are you okay sharing some results or I can share some high level numbers?
You could share some high level ones. I should
Okay,
have pulled those up, but I
that's
know, I
okay.
mean, every time we test something, it's positive return. I just don't have the numbers in front of me.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been with you guys for a couple of years now, so I think I
Yeah.
can confidently say that there's
Yes.
large numbers of additional revenue that have been gained. But
Yeah.
just in the last 30 days, looks like Rebuy's accounting for 4% of the overall sales. So when we're like adding an upsell here and adding a cross sell there, that really starts to add up to your bottom line revenue. So yeah, you guys have been an awesome customer of ours, and seeing some awesome results. So yeah, it's been great.
We love it. We love to see it. I love how quickly we could get into some nitty-gritty topics in a quick, like 40-ish, 45 minutes for this webinar. So thank you, Zach and Anon, for walking us through some of the awesome things that you're doing together. And I want to make sure we get through everyone's questions. So if anyone has any more, keep throwing them in the Q&A section. I want to start off because we were talking about, obviously, it's a nice segue to Smart Cart. But Alexa specifically asks, is there anything that is being changed for Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Obviously, very top of mind right now. So I want to make sure we kind of hit on that specifically. Zach, do you want to take us away first? And then Desiree will see if there's anything you'd add.
Um, Yeah, I mean, honestly, for us, like that's something we also want to be adding for BFCM. We do a tiered deal for Black Friday, so I think that's a really good place to put something that within the smart cart of getting to that next step in the tiered deal. So if you're running a tiered deal, that's a really great place for it right there in the cart. And it's like when you're in an actual physical store and they put like candy and stuff at the end, it's getting that extra purchase out of them because it's right in front of them when they're about to check out. And so I think that's a really good way to implement that for BFCM. Um, I think that's probably the biggest thing that will change sort of within the smart cart for BFCM. We might also change. We've done something with, in the example I showed, there's a Rebuy block in it for product recommendations. we've done specific things or like a giveaway in there where, hey, pick which hat you want for free because you've hit this dollar amount. So if you're doing a giveaway like that for BFCM, that's another good place to sort of put that right in front of the customer as they're checking out.
Awesome. Love it. Desiree, anything you can share towards like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, just how you guys are approaching it, maybe the added bonuses or loyalty points, anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with Black Friday, there's going to be a big influx of visitors on any website for an e-commerce brand. And so for us, we're making sure that we have all of our Klaviyo flows optimized. And a big thing is, for us, the quiz, right, is a big thing with the custom properties and making sure that we have all of that mapped out and going from there because Black Friday, Cyber Monday, not only is it big for sales, but it's also really good for data collection because people are influxing to the site. They want to buy, they want quick answers about what to buy because there's an urgency behind it. So having everything oiled and ready to go for that, and then having all of your funnels set up so that you're not having conversions not only in Black Friday, but also further down the road, and you can utilize that data appropriately in holiday season.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you bring up the like how quickly people will want answers. And I think this blends so well with what you and Leo were discussing of having a quick survey that is also education based because
Yeah.
you know that that is most likely your shopper who is wanting to know answers quickly. Anon, Leo, anything you would add in terms of software side to either of those?
Honestly, what they provide is perfect, so nothing to add.
Love it.
The only other thing I can think of, like Desiree mentioned, like this is your influx of traffic. So if there are strategies that you can set, even if they're not being enacted on BFCM, if you can take advantage of the traffic to do things like broader testing, or maybe it's collecting more first-party data through a quiz like Octane. So if you can set those things up during a high traffic season, that can pay dividends later.
Yeah, I love it. And I'll add from just like the promotional period too of updating things like assets that are more seasonal and just carrying in that customer experience that is more obviously seasonal based. I know when I see as a consumer that experience, especially if you just ordered from someone and you see like, oh, that's the exact product that I just bought from, or that product is now in a seasonal holiday-esque background. It makes it just pop out a little bit more, and I think it gets everyone in the holiday spirit. Okay, great. And then Lucas, I see your question as well, but just to round out what we are discussing, Alexa, I'm going to go to your second question around what are the key benefits for Rebuy's smart search and how can it kind of complement smart cart? Because obviously it parlays nicely into what we've been discussing. So Zach, I'll hand it to you first.
Yeah, I think I talked about visibility with the Malomo piece earlier, but I think that was a big thing for us. We can actually see what customers are searching for. And I do think that that helps us when we look at that drive. Oh, like maybe we should be promoting this more if they're having a hard time finding it. Um, and so it does drive that from us, but from a data side, like that does feed into everything else Rebuy is doing. So if you're searching for something, it'll probably come up on the next product recommendation, either in the cart or other places on the site. So for us, it's a really nice thing of having that extra data point for the rest of Rebuy's engines, but also for us internally to see like what aren't we promoting well enough?
Yeah, I love that. Non, anything you'd add?
I think it's been mentioned a couple of times, this idea of like a unified tech stack. If you think about the things that are being recommended, it makes a lot of sense that they're based off of the things that a consumer is searching for. So if your buyer is searching for certain things, we want to make sure that we're actually bringing those things up later along their customer journey. And so this idea of search and merch, or like search and then the stuff that you're actually merchandising on your site, makes a lot of sense because it's underneath the same hood. So yeah, it feels very intuitive for those two things to complement each other.
Yeah, love it. Okay, sweet. And then this is a question is from Lucas, and it's about finding the balance between educating and selling the customer in those post-purchase email flows. So I would love to hear your thought process, Zach, in the brand side of things. How do you kind of blend the two?
Yeah, I'm going to use an example from a different tech partner, but it's a recent one, and I think it talks through this really well. So we are implementing a strategy with loop on returns and exchanges. If someone returns their entire first order, we're going to send them a follow-up email that's a letter from the founders with another discount code because especially early in the process, you're selling both the company and the product. And so if someone's returned their first order, the product didn't hit. At least maybe they will try something else, but usually if they're returning the whole first order, it's going to be hard to get them retained. And so selling the brand at that point and the founder's message can be a really effective way to get them back in. So I think both are really important. Once they've already made, if it's their first purchase, you can mix in a lot more of the brand because they've already bought the product. And so depending on where in the customer journey, we're fitting in both. But I think one of the really unique things that I've found since being at Criquet is our brand voice and our brand messaging is very, very in tune with everything. It is a golf polo that we started with, but our founders call it the 19th hole mentality. It's getting to the end to have a beer with your friends. And so that does filter into all of our marketing, that sort of mindset. But I think in the flow perspective, having a good mix is always a good call.
Yep. Love that. Okay, next question is for Desiree. I'm gonna try and wrap us up here in a few minutes. But wanted to ask, going back to kind of the data side of things, and we obviously have been talking about the customer experience, some post-purchase, some pre. Can you walk us through the data that you're getting through your quizzes? Where else are they kind of popping up along the customer experience with like the first party data that you're collecting?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I mean, for us, we've got, I believe, 11 questions within our quiz, and it's health-related questions because people are looking for a supplement for health-related support. And functional mushrooms have so many benefits. It's not like we're just a sleep company. It can support literally any health benefit that you're looking for. So what we do is we don't necessarily optimize and change the quiz. Like our quiz is evergreen and it stays the same because it's really meeting a need and filling a gap for people. But what it does provide is an opportunity to maybe create an additional quiz from there for people who are very specific. And that could be on a hidden landing page and sent to people where these people are taking a specific quiz to get further information about things. And then, you know, each of the answers from the questions in our quiz in Octane, that is populating within Klaviyo in the custom properties. And that information, those custom properties for each question could essentially be a flow. So if it's talking about energy and that's question 2, for example, we could create an entire Klaviyo flow for energy, and it can be X number of emails, whatever. It can incorporate messages from the founder. It can incorporate a discount code. It can incorporate education, really. So that's the biggest thing for us is it's always education because when people know better, and are educated, they will make the best decisions for themselves. And oftentimes people really value that. We get that all the time. Like, I'm just so happy to be educated. So it's those custom properties that we get. We can take it a step further and give them more information and not overwhelming them with information, but like targeted information. Like you talked about energy. So here's why. Here are some studies about how cordyceps can help with energy. And here's why. Here's a testimonial from somebody in our community. Exactly. So it's very targeted in the sense of it's specific. It's exactly what they're asking for, and it's providing that information because we never want to be seen as salesy, and that's the biggest thing in marketing, right? Marketing is just education, educating people about why you think your brand is awesome and how it can help people, and people respond to that. People just want to be seen and heard, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers your question. I know I went on a bit of a couple tangents there, but I feel like it was pretty encompassing for that answer. It's not just a simple answer.
Yes, yeah, and it never really is, right? So we try and squeeze anything in that we can, but yes, I think that's an awesome standpoint. And another question came up while you were discussing of just like how do you operationalize or optimize the quizzes? And it sounds like you just kind of answered that in that question of that one stays evergreen, but then you have other things that you can try and really get more custom. So I think that's a great place to round out because I know we were up at time and we have our thank yous first. So thank you to everyone who joined us here today and a special thank you to our panelists. So cheers to you all for being here, putting in the work, sharing some of your strategy and the new things, the cool things that you are doing within the DTC space. And I am going to announce our giveaway winners. So Alexa and Lucas, and then Ada. Congrats. I will reach out. You are giveaway winners. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for your questions. And we will hopefully see you next time. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone. See ya.